What's up, guys? I'm going to show you how to restring a Legator Ghost. This will apply to, I believe, every Legator Ghost. I don't think they've really updated this hardware down here, which is pretty notoriously bad. A lot of people don't like it, myself included. But anyways, what we are doing, I'm just going to show you on one string. We're not going to do all 8 here because I just need to replace, I actually broke my first string when going to tune up a couple weeks ago and just now getting around to swapping it. I swapped it to a 10 and I play this high first string here needs to be tuned up to F, and on this scale length with a 10 gauge it cannot get there, so we're going to put a 9 on it. Tools you will need for the job: a size 2.5 millimeter Allen wrench, and that goes to the top hardware up there, and just regular run-of-the-mill Phillips head screwdriver. So nothing super fancy or complex by any means. And pretty much to start this entire job, all you got to do is loosen your hardware right at the top. And obviously I haven't trimmed that string or anything yet because I put it on and then realized that it wasn't going to fit, or wasn't couldn't tune up to pitch, rather. Fit just fine. And if you're going to standard, if you're doing F sharp through E, a 10 gauge is totally fine up there. It's just when you play and drop F and you need an F on the top to go F to F, it does not work. All right. So anyways, take your string off the top, and we might as well save this string because that doesn't really damage it. You can't see it. I don't know why I tried to show you that. And then down here, I like to just take apart this assembly. It's real easy to take apart. It's just a spring and a screw, like a humbucker ring pickup screw would be. I think this makes it just the easiest. And that's apparently magnetic there. That's kind of funny. But anyways, now we have the string. There's your saddle. And we can move that whole thing, and the ball end just comes right up. And I will show you here the part that they don't show you in any of the Legator videos where they made about restringing these things, of how it actually works, how the system works. So we'll take the saddle and the screw and set it aside, and our string for now. And I'll show you one other tool that I use to do these string changes is this cheap little Harbor Freight poker thing. I don't know, it's just a hook. But anyways, I use this to grab our little saddle carriage. That's just what I call it. I don't know if this has a real term, but that piece right there fits right into the bottom, and it gets stuck in there a lot, and you just kind of have to push it to the correct side to get it free and get it moving, which, oh, actually, I know what step I forgot. Need to actually unscrew the tuner. That helps. So many steps. So many steps. It's not the easiest process in the world. But anyways, there it is. Now you can see it. So what we're actually going to do is this ball end right there fits in that little thing, and then tension keeps it in place. That's it. And then obviously, like you can see in these other strings, it comes up through the saddle then, and then the saddle will be connected to your screw there. So the trick is, in my opinion, you've just got to get that lined up, and it's so much easier to do without the saddle on it. Once you've got that locked in, if you've got enough hands and whatnot, or something to just keep that down, you can then slide the actual saddle on the string and then put it in place, screw the whole thing back together and rebuild it, and then tune up and everything. So I'm going to do that. I don't have enough hands to hold the camera and do that at the same time, so we will come back when that is done. And I got to switch this string anyways to a 9 gauge. This is the 9. We got the ball end pretty well locked in there, though it's going to come out if I release the tension. Got the saddle on the string already facing the correct direction, and now we are ready to rebuild the assembly. A tip and trick here: loosen your actual tuning machine as much as you can before it releases that little carriage. So get it down to like the last thread or 2 threads. That gives you the most track, because that actual oval track in there that the carriage sits in is the only distance you have to add tension to your string to tune up to pitch. And if you run out of that track and you've tuned it to the max, that's it. Which is what happens when you try to put a 10 on here and tune it to F. It just doesn't work. You run out of track. So again, this is what our assembly is going to look like, and I'm going to put that screw through the back and tighten her up here without letting that ball come out of the carriage. That's your key. If you have a third hand or something to keep tension on this, to keep the ball end down in that little carriage, you are way ahead of the game. So honestly, you can do this solo just fine. And I should probably state for the record, I've owned this guitar for like 3 or 4 years. It took me 2 just to be able to restring it myself without taking it to a luthier. It's hard. I own 30 some guitars and multiple 8 strings and all that shit. And I've restrung plenty of other headless guitars. I got videos on the Strandberg Essential and Valraven and all sorts of cool stuff. This one is impossible. It's the worst system, worst thought out system of any headless I've ever seen. All right, I'm going to rebuild that assembly here while keeping tension on there. Well, like I said, if you lose the tension, you lose the ball. So we'll rebuild that and come back. That step is done. Now it is time to tighten our tuners, or tuner, and pull this sumbitch back. And that, you can kind of see it, it just pulls that little carriage underneath, which adds our tension. Actually, you can see it pretty well. And that's getting fairly high. So now we tune it and see if we are successful. A resounding success. Unlike on the 10, I've still got extra room back here. We went right up to F. It's probably already a touch out of tune, brand new strings. And then we will clip the top there. So just clip off this excess. And just keep in mind, if you are someone who strings your guitar and then doesn't clip the excess, you are not human.